Hi guys, welcome to the channel, and this is going to be my entry into the 2024 small scale group build hosted by our good friends Shawn and BG over at the Scale Model Car Guy channel and BG's Model Workshop. As you can see, we've not got a stack of kits to choose from. In all fairness, I pretty much had my heart set on this project from sort of August, September time last year. You know, I was culling off a lot of small scale stuff, putting a lot on eBay and what have you, and hence why Shawn's got a lot of me older stuff. You know, he got a lot of me older box stuff, which, you know, I didn't really want to sell on eBay. He showed some interest in one or two of them before, and I had a lot of 1/43 scale stuff, which, you know, I put on eBay, and, you know, I just didn't. I don't think people got how rare some of those were. And in all fairness, I probably priced them too high. But I thought, I'm not going to waste my time with them. I know Shawn would really appreciate them, and, you know, instead of just sending him one or two of them, I sent him the whole lot. So he's got probably more 1/43 scale models now that he'll ever need in his lifetime. But yeah, like I say, I chose this project, and as the thumbnail will explain, you know, you kind of know what direction we're going with. We're going to be doing a banger racing team, an old English banger racing team, and I kind of wanted to set the date to sort of the mid to late 70s period. But so we're not, like I say, we'll go into more what we're going to be doing with the actual models. But, you know, my channel, we're going to have a bit of a story time as to the whole inspiration behind this build, and the inspiration for the team we're choosing, the inspiration for the numbers we're choosing. Because I think the history is as important as the builds. On this particular project, especially for me. It really just stems back. My dad, I was born in 80, and I remember in early 80s, one of the earliest memories was my dad used to paint little Lesney Matchbox toy cars in this particular team's colours, and I remember my dad's kind of stories from back then, and I didn't know how much were stories and how much were just not bending the truth a little bit. But, you know, I've been messaging my brother, and he has filled me in on quite a lot of information, and to be quite honest, a lot of this in here, a lot of the info in here is being kindly given to me by my brother Dom, who incidentally, you know, he's a banger racer himself. I mean, I don't think he does it as much nowadays, but he's still active within that sport. But yeah, like I say, my dad used to paint all these little toy cars, and speaking to my brother, and like I say, I did know my dad used to be a part of this particular racing team, but I didn't know to what extent. And my dad basically was a spanner man for a driver called George Ayres in the 60s and 70s. And this is the inspiration really behind the team what we're choosing. Now George Ayres and my dad used to be in a team called the Victorians. Now the Victorians, they took their name really after the Queen Victoria pub in Muswell Hill in London, and that's because they used to build some of the cars behind, or some of the drivers used to build some of the cars in the sheds behind the Queen Victoria pub. And, you know, my brother's kindly sent a really great photo of one of the drivers. Not George Ayres or my dad, it was just one of my brother's friends, dads. Apparently sent my brother this photo of this chap sat on a hood of an old Mark II Zodiac or Zephyr with a pint in his hand from the pub. But, you know, I believe that pub's still actually there. I think it's called the Victoria Stakes now, and it's more of a restaurant. But me being a bit nosy and wanting to learn a bit more about the history and seeing if that pub's still there, I went on Google Earth, and it does look like them original sheds and are still there behind the building, and which that photo was taken of that chap on that old banger racer. And I think it's now become like an extension of the restaurant. Obviously done up a lot nicer than an old shed and what have you, but yeah, it looks like the footprint's still there, and the sheds are still there to some extent, but with nicer roofs and what have you. But like I say, I mean, and it was just that team's colour and the way my dad used to paint them little matchbox toys stuck with me for so long. And I don't think I've seen any of them little toy cars since I was early 80s, I would say. Maybe 3 or 4 is the last time I remember seeing those little toy cars. And like I say, I've been messaging my brother, and originally I actually messaged my brother just for something else really, but I'd kind of let him know I was planning on this project and the team that I wanted to do for this project, and why and what have you. And he actually, funnily enough, he sent me a picture of one of those little toy cars, a little Lesney Matchbox PA Cresta, that, to be quite fair, I couldn't believe it still survived after all this time. I mean, I believe it's highly worn. Most of a lot of the paint's come off. The enamel paint my dad used to use to paint them in has rubbed off, but you can still see clearly the team colours, the blue, the black, and the white, and the white and black checkered roof. And it's just it's kind of funny it's kind of funny just to see that after so long. That's 30 years plus that I haven't seen that little toy car, and same, my brother's still got it, and it's heavily inspired my brother a lot more than me, because he went on to do banger racing. But that stuck with me for so long, to the point where when I was deciding this project, that was really why I wanted to do that. And because my dad's input in that particular team as well. I mean, I think unfortunately we came along. I've got 2 brothers and a younger sister, and I think my eldest brother Dom, he came along in, it would have been about 76 or something. So that pretty much would have scuppered my dad's sort of racing interest, and he had to settle for bringing up us in the late 70s, early 80s, instead of probably doing what he really wanted to do. I remember he used to tell us at the time, when he used to help out with this race team, he had an old Ford 300E panel van in dark blue, which he had a Pinto engine fitted to it, and so you can kind of tell what kind of guy my dad was in the late 60s, early 70s, but like I say, I mean, so that's really the inspiration behind the team we're going to do. So we're definitely going to be doing the Victorians. Really important team to me is that, and for all them reasons I've just been through. But then I wanted to choose a number, and I didn't really want to tell my brother I was going to choose his number, but so I just messaged him asking for a few. I told him what we're going to do for this project and give him basic outline, but I said that I wanted just a few pictures of his cars just to show on the video, and that way I could kind of confirm number I thought he was racing. which he did. I think he hadn't got as many as he wants. I think he lost a few in for most of his files. They got lost, so to speak, under certain circumstances. But yeah, so my brother basically, he actually adopted, when he first started racing, he adopted George Ayres's old number 150, and then and he then changed to 989. I think he was racing for the Balby Auto Spares racing team when he was really heavily into it, when he had a big shed full of old classic cars, and he was racing a lot of stuff. And in all fairness, Mark II Granadas weren't, the Mark I Granadas weren't that rare back then. Back when he was doing it, they were plentiful, to be quite honest with you. And all I think I'm one of them people who are kind of on the fence. There's some cars which I don't think should have been raced, but not by my brother. But you see certain cars, but I'm on the kind of standpoint that a lot of these cars were old rock boxes and what have you, and the people who complain about you're racing classic cars that shouldn't be raced, well, they're probably people who own the same type of car. And if people like my brother didn't trash many Mark II and Mark I Granadas in his years, I can guarantee you the people who own them Mark II, Mark I Granadas, which are worth 10-20 grand now, they wouldn't be worth 10-20 grand because there would be plenty of them, or they would just all have rotted away. So I'm kind of on the fence over all that, but I hold nothing against racers who are racing old stuff. I think there's some unscrupulous things happening every now and again, but it's all part of the sport. You get the good with the bad, and I know my brother was certainly on the good side, and like I said, he offered me that PB Cresta, and that's what happens. These guys that when they get a good car, they try and offer them. And then people like me want to save them. They don't have, when you get asked, you can't take them up on it, or you suddenly you're not interested in saving them. So you can't win over it, kind of thing. But yeah, but like I said, me brothers, we are doing a lot of story time here, and but my brother's, he's really helped me out with this project, to be quite honest with you. And he still races. Like I said, he's actually sent me some pictures of his doing a race in June at the Bradford Stadium, and he's painted it in blue and black. And he's actually, in recent years, he's reverted to the 150 number as well, which is really nice, to be quite honest. I'm really glad he's done that. And but I think he's prepped an all day 60, and it looks absolutely stunning. Again, I think he's racing at Odsall Stadium in Bradford. I think it's on 15th of June. I'm gonna put a few pictures at the end of that as well, but I think that meeting is actually, it's celebrating the oldest surviving banger race team, the Invaders of Liverpool. I think it's their 55th year anniversary or something, and I'm gonna certainly try and make me way along to that, and I really do want to see this car my brother's done. He sent me some pictures, and it, like I said, the amount of work that goes into them cars nowadays, it's absolutely unbelievable. I mean, the paint job, the design writing that's gone onto it, it's just an absolutely stunning looking race car. And to be quite honest, it scares me to death. but he's still doing it because, you know, I know you guys have your demo derbies and what have you, but honestly, it is demo derbies a child's play compared to the violence which goes into a banger race of nowadays. You know, it's all about followings and snapping the car in half. And you know, if you want to Google, you know, if you want to go on YouTube and have a look at, just put following, banger race of followings, and you'll see what I mean. I mean, they are literally snapping them cars in half, and it's amazing that so many people get out of them cars because it's just so violent nowadays. I mean, it scares the life out of me, to be quite honest with you. And you know, I fancied it at one point, but having a go myself, but no way, not now, not now. I mean, I know it's really safe and what have you, and they're putting all these H frames in and to protect the drivers and doing everything they can to protect the drivers, but it just seems like, you know, there are some very hard hits in there, like, but yeah, I mean, I think he's painted again in blue and black, as a bit of a tribute to the Victorians, and you know, I think and I think that's what we're going back to. Like, you know, we're at 15 minutes, and all you've done is listen to me bang on about this banger racing team. Don't mind the pun, like, but you know, like I say, speaking to my brother, he told me a lot of the history about Victorians, and you know, another great bit of history behind it was the team captain was a chap called Brian Steed. Now, Brian actually went on to produce Grid magazine that covered racing at all the promoter sport tracks. I think Victorians and Brian mainly sort of raced at Haringey Stadium and other places, and funnily enough, you know, Brands Hatch was used for banger racing back in the day, but yeah, Brian, another thing about Brian, you know, he actually supplied all the stunt cars for Long Good Friday, you know, the film with Bob Hoskins and Helen Mirren. And the car that, you know, for the banger racing sequence, and the car actually rolled over and exploded. You know, that was painted in very, very close to Victorian colours, and you know, unfortunately, I think Brian passed in 2018, and but he did make a bit of a comeback before he came out of retirement in 2015, and you know, I think he raced at one or two of the classic meetings, you know, before he sadly passed. But you know, I think that was just another great bit of history. You know, really influential. They sound like a really influential person for the sport, who was a part of the Victorians, and you know, like I say, I think with this project, like, I mean, we'll actually go on to what I'm choosing now after 18 minutes. I'm sorry, guys, but I thought, like I said, when I choose a project, it's always going to be based off either a project I've wanted to do for many, many years, or it's going to be based off something like this, which it's kind of has a bit of meaning to me, so to speak. The Mountain Pearl, that was again a bit of influence from my dad. You know, from the early 80s when he showed me the picture of it in Hot Rod magazine or whatever it was. I think it was Hot Rod magazine. But now you want to probably know why I've chosen the Mark 1 Escort, because to be quite honest with you, it wasn't used much. But I was trying to find it. I think my brother, I can't remember what program it was on, but there was a program in the 80s, where, you know, I think it was like a one-off kind of program, and you know, I think most of it was to do with the hot rod scene in the UK, and Mad About Motors, that was it. It's called Mad About Motors, and to be honest, I couldn't remember. I explained why I was choosing Escort to my brother, and he let me know, but I couldn't find it on YouTube. There's only its second half on YouTube, and I've scoured the internet and couldn't find it anywhere on that but on that program they were sort of showcasing how a banger team preps a car, and they put the car into a race, and it was a Mark 1 Escort. I think that one was painted in red and yellow or something, whereas we're going to go for blue black with a white and black checkered roof. So that was really the reason why I wanted to choose the Mark 1 Escort. And also we used to have a light blue Mark 1 Escort. I think it was a 4-door, not a 2-door, but it was one of the earliest cars I can remember. I remember my dad he was going to restore it. He was starting to get a bit tatty, and he had brand new old stock front wings, or front fenders as you call them, and a front panel, and he had them all set up in the loft conversion we had. We always wanted him to do a flip front because my dad was heavily into hot rodding at the time, and we really just seeing that front end all set up. We wanted him to do a flip front on the Escort, and my dad never got round to it, and I think the car just got scrapped. He sold all the panels off at an auto jumble, and the car got sold off. So I thought, with the team inspiration, the family history of banger racing, and the old inspiration for the car we used to own in the early 80s. I think we got a Mark II after that, and that would just used to break down. I remember being in the car. I was just me and my mum in the car, and I was probably only 6 or 7 at that time, and the car broke down. I remember my mum finding the closest phone box and giving my dad hell about it over from this little phone box. I felt so sorry for my dad even at that young age. But yeah, I remember 2 guys giving us a push round corner. Yeah, my dad was in doghouse for that for a little while, I would expect, but yeah, I thought we'd do a banger racing team out of that. Based on that, I think we're gonna have this one. We're gonna restore and do it in light blue, and we're gonna have this one as a banger. And I thought this would be a good banger because when I bought it, when it turned up, I noticed it had a short shot front fender. So there's nothing much else we can do with that. I mean, I don't know how far we're going to go with this one. I don't know if we're going to do it damaged. The only thing that I'm concerned about with these Airfix kits is plastic so thin on them. So putting any kind of heat to them, it might just ruin everything. But so I'm not decided where we're just going to do excuse me, a race ready car or a damaged car, or we've only got a number of days, and I'm already a day late with this, just through how busy I've been. Unfortunately, I've just been working around the clock, and I've had very little time awake where I've not been working, put it that way. So, but I think we're gonna have to scratch build a trailer. I would like it towing these two as in a proper team. I mean, nowadays it's all Hiabs and big trucks, and whereas back in the day, people used to drag these on back of a trailer on the family car, or I think farmers were big into it back in the day. So farmers used to use the farm trucks to pull them on an old farm trailer or something. But yeah, I think with what we've got here, we've got a kit which was clearly started and broken into a million, or not fully put together. I bet they probably didn't notice that they got this far and started on thinking about the front end and thinking, all right, yeah, kind of scuppered there, like so. So, but I think that'll be a nice little project. You know, I think my battery's going to go soon, so we'll try and wrap it up. But like I say, I think I may try and fit something else into this. I know I think for the main project, I wanted to choose a kit because, you know, that's really what the small scale group build's about. It's about building small scale kits, and these are small scale kits, but there are a few nice little resin bodies out there at the moment, and I might just buy one of the old A60s. There's a 1/32 scale old A60, which would be more correct for the type of cars that were being raced back then. Like the Victorians raced a lot of cars like that, rather than things like Escorts and what have you. I think the Escorts, I've already explained why we're choosing them. But if I can, I would like to maybe fit one more in. I mean, it'd be a very basic build. There'd be no damage for sure on that. But maybe we do a little bit of a tribute to Brian Steed on the side, and you know, we might set up a little diorama base for it, a very simplistic diorama base to sit these on, and there will be a reason why I want to do a good job on these and have it nice and presentable, which I'll let you know right at the end of the project, so that'll be on the last day, like. But so we might get 3 builds out. You know, I think they're going to be very basic kind of builds. I mean, the small scale, but with everything, I'll put 110% into it. Please, I mean, I'm going to sign off the video very shortly. Please do stick around and check out the photos at the end. You know, I think what I'll do is I'll start off with the very few Victorians team pictures I've got of their cars and the team colours. I mean, I don't think I've got any in colour, so they'll all be black and white. So yeah, they're like I said, they're blue, black, and with a checkered white and black roof, and then I'll probably show like the little toy car which I'm talking about, and then I think I'll go into I'll show my brother's cars, my brother's past race cars, or what few is being able to send me, and so anything with the numbers 989 or 150, you know, that'll be my brother's cars. And I think I'll then go into his latest car, which is gonna be racing at Odsall Stadium on 15th of June, and then I'll just end up with a few other pictures of, you know, classic cars which my brothers have taken pictures of at other race meetings and what have you. So like I say, I mean, this is a half an hour video. It's been a really tough one. I mean, I've started this video a million times and got a couple of minutes in and just kind of given up on it. So and like I say, I like just to do it all in one video, and like I say, I mean, the history behind this build is a really, really important one to me. So I thought, even though it's taken a while to get through all that history, I know I've missed a lot, and if there's people out there in the banger community who've seen this and, you know, I've got some of that history wrong, well, you can definitely 100% blame my brother for that, because he's been so kind to provide me with it, and it's been really interesting to me to put them pictures together, all them pieces together, and then try and find out a little bit more on the side, you know, about the area and stuff. And I mean, my dad was in Edmonton, born and raised in Edmonton, London, and Muswell Hill's not far from that. So And I've got some great memories from going and seeing my relatives in it was Warwick Road in Edmonton, and a beautiful park round corner and what have you. And you know, some of my greatest memories was going to see my relatives back in daylights. Hence why this video is so long. Hence why we've had to explain a lot. And I really do hope you've stuck till the end to listen to it all. And if anybody's out there who has some pictures of the Victorians, you know, please do drop us an email. And I know both me and my brother would be really interested to see some of those, and because it is a part of our family history and our family inspirations and influences. But yeah, we'll close the video now. I'll probably get a little bit done over the weekend on these. I got to tear them down and what have you. So hopefully we'll get a little bit of an update end of weekend. It certainly won't be a long update, especially not after this video. So with that, whatever you're doing for the rest of the weekend, hope you have a great time, and we will see you in the next video. Okay.